My name is John Gibeau. I spent 2 years in the service total. 1 year in Vietnam. I went from a private to a sergeant. And 1 month, I mean, 1 year and 2 months. And before I got out, I was sergeant. Before I got out, when I left Nam, I went into Kansas City and I served over there with the Big Red One. And I had 6 months to serve. So that was the end of my ETS. So in that between time, I had another 2 months to go to serve, and they wanted to promote me from sergeant to E6. So I went in front of the captain, and I told him I don't want it. I said, give it to lifer. I ain't staying in. I ain't going back to Nam. He said, I didn't have to go back. He said, I'll give you a order. You got to go in front of the board with 3 other guys. I go, fine. He said, there's one catch. I said, what's that? He said, you need to cut your hair white wall. And I said, you base me on the white wall, my haircut, not the medals, and I laid my life down twice. Are you kidding me? I was pissed. So, of course, when I went in front of the board, I didn't cut my hair. So Sergeant Major came out, looked to my left and right ear, and cussed me out, told me to get the heck out of there, more other words than that, and my 3 other buddies. Then after 2 months, I got out, ATS. Was that a question you got?
The medals you got? Yeah. What kind of medals did you get?
Read them up. Okay. I got National Defense Service Medal, Vietnam Service Medal, Bronze Star Medal. I got Vietnam Gallantry Medal with 60 DVC. Then I got Combat Infantry Badge, 2 overseas bars. And I got Vietnam Combat Medal and Vietnam Gallantry Cross with Palm, Air Medal, Army Accommodation Medal with W and a V and a DVC. Then I got another Bronze Star with an OPCOM WV with a DVC, a shooter and a sharp with the M14. Then also I got a Silver Star. That's my highest medal. And that's it for right now.
Alright, thanks. Okay, man, so how old were you when you went to Vietnam, and what kind of unit were you in?
I was 19 years old. I was with the 1st CAD Air Mobile, 1st team, 2nd to 12th Recon. First I was with the infantry for 6 months. And then the medals I earned in combat, they wanted the volunteers because they're missing one man. So they don't have recon no more. It's Special Forces or Rangers now. But I was on that team. So when you get there in country, you go 2 weeks training. And then you go out to the bush with the unit. And then when I volunteer for recon, you have to go 2 weeks training with that unit before you go out with them. So when you was recon unit, 6-man team, I knew what it was all about. You get hot food, you get clean clothes, you're only out for maybe a week, week and a half, and that's it. Avoid fighting, seek the enemy, find out location, report it, and get the H out of there. That's it.
So what was your position before you went to Vietnam? What was your position about the war? What do you know about it before you went to Vietnam?
Oh, okay, go ahead. All right, first of all, I volunteered for the draft. Then instead of waiting, I went in and to the recruiter and go ahead and take the test and go on in instead of waiting for them to call my number. So at that time, when I went in there, my attitude was where I wanted to serve my country, help another country, you know, and possibly make a career out of it. That was my attitude at the time. All right.
Okay. How did you feel about the war when you got there? Were you scared? What was your first impression when you got to the war zone?
Oh yeah, you didn't know what to expect. When I first got there, and when we landed, it was a Freedom Bird, commercial bird. I think it's in Bin Mall, Saigon, where we landed. I don't remember where. All I know is when they opened that door, all the air conditioning stopped, and that heat just came in like a microwave. and we had no weapons or nothing, just our fatigue. So we just don't want the specs. And when we walked out the ramp to go down, we looked around and we go, oh, this ain't bad. If this is where it's gonna be, this is cool. We're scared, but we figured, they got bars, they got the shows, they got cars and Jeep driving everywhere. And I said, hey, man, this is it. All right, go ahead.
Okay, what was the hardest thing about Vietnam to you? What was the hardest thing for you?
The hardest thing is you live like an animal. You don't know what to expect. Like I said, when I got off the Freedom Bird, then we got in a C-130. Then after C-130, I went to Tay Ninh. Then we got in Chinook. We went to LZ Grant out on the field base camp. And then they got in the Hueys, and from there, and I thought that was it. I said, this ain't bad. And then they took us out in the middle of nowhere, the bush, and that was. I said, this has got to be hit, because everything you own is on your backpack, and every night you dig foxholes, and maybe once or twice you get mortared at night, and then during the day, about once or twice you get snipers, trying to pick you off, and you're constantly moving. You don't hardly get any rest. The sea rations were bad. All I'm saying is, the way you live and you sleep, you got those leeches, you got the mosquitoes, you got the scorpions, you got the snakes, along with everything else, red ants, black ants, and plus getting you shot at and mortared. That was the hard way. And the worst thing about it, that no one really cared about you. And I think what hurt the most was people back in the state protesting. And, it wasn't a popular word, of course. And what I learned and what I known when I was in Nam, we weren't even supposed to be there. It was just a nightmare. And as soon as I got there, maybe about 3 or 4 months, 6 months, I wanted out. I wanted to go home. Any way I can, I want to go home. So it was a nightmare. Just living like animals, sleeping like an animal, eat like an animal. And you kill to be killed or whatever. It's just bad. That's it.
So when you were outside the wire, how long were you out there? Did you come in every day or?
No, we were out there sometimes 20 days, 30 days, 40 days. Sometimes they bring water out and 1 rounds where they can seal it, 155 rounds full of water, empty of course. Then they throw out blocks of ice. You get 3 beers, 3 sodas. And not all the time. They're supposed to bring, every 2 weeks, supposed to bring fresh clothes out to you. Because of the monsoon and the rain and the heat and everything going on. You're sleeping. It's so bad. They should bring clothes out more to you, but they didn't, because you stink so bad that you can't even sleep. That's how bad it was. So you try to wash your own clothes in a bomb crater. That was the bad part. So you're out the many days.
Okay, after you left Vietnam, how did you feel about it? What was your position? How did you feel? Were you relieved? Were you sad? How'd you feel about it when you came home?
I was really upset with the government, the service, and just how they treat you. You're just a dog tag. You're just a number. They really don't care. You move back home, really didn't care. Only your parents and brothers, and family that really cared about you. But I was really disappointed. And to keep the war going was keeping the economy going. And that was pissed me off, because young men were dying just to keep the economy going. Because all the government, the politicians, the colonels, all that, they all had their money in the bars, the shows, everything you could think of. And, just to keep the money going.